I would have to agree with the other candidates. The young people here today have done an excellent job. You can tell they are very, very prepared. They really got some really good questions. I was kind of expecting questions like cyberbullying or using the cell phone, but these young people are serious. I will say that I'm running for city council. Being a small business owner and a community activist for so long, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of different people. And I understand some of the needs here in Roanoke. I do agree with our Councilman Lee that the city is going in the right direction. Roanoke is a beautiful place, but there are still things that plague our city, like the infrastructure, some drugs, and just to mention a few things. And I feel like I have had the opportunity to grow my small business, to learn other small business owners, and to meet people in the area. And I feel I understand the needs of some of the residents here in Roanoke City. And I would like to have that opportunity to work with other members of council to create jobs, to work on some of the things that plague our city. And I'm hoping that you will look at the candidates here tonight because you will have the opportunity to make some decisive decisions about mayor, city council, and these decisions will empower you to vote for the right person that you see will do the best job for Roanoke and your community. Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Small businesses are very, very important to us. 97% of the U.S. employers are small businesses, and we really need to focus on that. Right now, we need to focus on minority and particularly African American small-owned businesses, because in Roanoke City, only 9% of the small businesses are owned by African Americans, and only 25% are owned by minority. We're talking women and people of color. So we really need to look at what we can do to facilitate that. Another thing that we can do is look at some of the tools that we have here in Roanoke City already, like the Economic Development Entrepreneur Grant. You have to go through so many changes and through so many different websites to find information. It needs to be accessible, it needs to be readily available, so that people who want to start a small business have the tools that they need in order to do that. Not everyone wants to start a small business, but there are a lot of people who do. I personally bought a franchise when I got my small business because it was easier. It was already there rather than recreating the wheel. But there are a lot of creative people out there who would like to start a small business. And believe it or not, there are tools right here in Roanoke City to help you do just that. We just need to make sure that they are marketed, that people know where they are, and that they are available to them. Thank you for that question. I think we all realize that there's not a whole lot that can be done on a local level about the SOL testing. Surely I would say that we need to put less emphasis on them and emphasize things such as the STEM program. Or right now we've already gone to STEM H, which is science, technology, engineering, math, and healthcare. We as council need to make sure that we prepare our students for these high-tech fields. 14 out of the 25 fastest growing jobs are in technology and healthcare. And I will give you just an example. Civil engineering starts at $80,000 per year right now. There are 273,000 jobs open in that field. Physical therapists start at $80,000, and there are 205,000 jobs in that field. Dental hygienists, only 2-year degree, starting at $70,000, 193,000 jobs. Research analysts, 60,000, 416,000 jobs right now open. Even things like airplane pilots. I didn't realize that we had a shortage of airplane pilots. I read an article a couple of weeks ago about a young man named John Beard who lived in Clifton Forge and moved to Roanoke, went to Wyndham Fleming, and took the aviation class. And now he is running a school, a pilot school, where we can have pilots. So I would like to think that our city schools will be focusing on preparing our youth for the future and for jobs for the future. So we need to stay in tune, and these are the things that I would like to see happen as a member of City Council. Fortunately, I had the opportunity to sit down with Chief Perkins before he retired. And, I went in and I thought it would be a 30-minute interview and he would kick me right out of there. He actually sat with me for 2 hours and went through his entire 2015 report. We are very, very fortunate here in Roanoke City to have a chief like Chief Perkins, and I think that we will do a good job at finding a replacement for him. One of the things that I liked about Chief Perkins and what he started was having the police officers participate in the neighborhood meetings. If you've gone to your local neighborhood meeting, you realize that there are police officers there. Our crime rate, like was mentioned earlier, is one of the lowest in this area. And one of the things that inflate that crime rate are things like breaking and entering. And it's not that anyone has actually broken in. Well, to say, I guess we could say they broke in, but what happens is people leave their doors unlocked in their cars. Like they're going out to their car to take in the groceries, and we go back in and we forget to lock them. But someone broke in their car, and that counts as one of the crime rates. So it is inflated, kind of, skewed in a sense, I guess. But we do have a lot of things that are in place. My husband was on Chief Perkins' task force for body-worn cameras to develop that the policy for that. So I do know that Roanoke City has taken a proactive approach to dealing with crime, and I would like to think that someone who would possess the same characteristics as Chief Perkins, making sure that we have a one-on-one with the community and is involved with the community, that to be the next police chief. Thank you for that question, and I'll make sure I understand it correctly. And we're talking about just housing or rental properties, or just housing, or just housing in general. Well, for one thing that we can do as far as rental property is to make sure that we have landlords and make them accountable for those properties. When something is wrong or needs to be repaired, make sure that we have the landlord responsible for making those repairs. As far as home ownership, I would like to see more homeowners. We have some banks that will do non-traditional lending, and by non-traditional lending, I mean using your rent or your utility or your cell phone bill to qualify you for purchasing your own home. We don't have enough homeowners here in Roanoke City as far as in the African American population. We really would like to do better as far as getting more families to become homeowners. And so working with some of the local banks, and we have a few banks already, I talked to a couple, but they don't have as many because they don't want to carry that load of having a 30-year mortgage for those homeowners. But I think it's a really good idea to step away from those FICO scores and use the non-traditional methods, because there are a lot of people who are reliable, dependable. They pay their rent, they pay their utilities, and would qualify for home ownership. It's really a good thing to be a homeowner, and if we can encourage that by talking to the lenders to see if they can work with some of the potential borrowers to get financing to own their own home, would be a good thing. First, I would like to say thank you to the Roanoke chapter of Jack and Jill, to their parents, and to these young people. You have done an awesome job. We've done about 7 or 8 of these, and I must say personally, you had me shaking in my boots. Seriously. All of us. But being a small business owner and a community activist, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people and to understand a lot of different things about the city of Roanoke. But when I decided to run for council, I took a proactive approach. Like I said, I met with the city manager, Chris Morrill. I met with the chief of police. I met with the Parks and Rec Department, Economic Development. I met with all of these individuals because I wanted to understand what the issues were in Roanoke City and what I could do to address them. For example, I have a friend or several friends who drive for Valley Metro, and they talk to me all the time about the issues with Valley Metro. They said to me, Trish, go down to Valley Metro on the 1st of the month, go into that hub and see what you see. Well, guess what? Yesterday I did that. It was Friday, it was the 1st of the month. There were hundreds of people in that hub. And I realized that it was very congested. Not only was it congested, it was very dangerous. Children were running, it was just a lot going on. So I got to see firsthand some of the things that we need to look at as a member of council. And that's what I would do for you as a member of council. I would be your voice directly to city council, connected with the neighborhoods, and try to do what I could to make things better for you, make the livability better, just do whatever it was that I could do to make things better and help make things livable here in Roanoke City. And I am asking for your vote on May 3rd, and that would definitely move us in the right direction.
We will have another speaker, just a second.
Thank you, candidates, for your great responses. This ends the debate portion of our program.